Wonderful. So now that you have your pen and paper ready, let's move on to step one. Okay, quickly write about, so the title you write out there is just gratitude, and write about 8 things you're grateful for. And write, you can elaborate on the sentences later, but just get into the feeling state of gratitude. 8 things: the weather, your sofa, your bed, the house, the food, something that happened at work, something that was meant to happen but didn't happen, something about your health, and just put yourselves on mute, whoever isn't. So I think once you've written out about gratitude, we're going to do step two, which is about release. So most of you know that one of my favorite activities to do with everyone and all the time is forgiveness, because forgiveness is basically what causes the maximum amount of energetic blocks between us and what we're really intending for and wanting to manifest in the world. Just write about, and this can be from really long ago, and it can be something really recent that happened that you want to let go of and release. So whether it's, a near and dear one, or it's, someone on the road that you had a fight with, doesn't matter. Let's just kind of work on the release. And 8. So today we're just going to work with 8s. And let it be, even if it's something really soft and subtle, just allow for it to kind of happen. And if you're only able to come up with 6 right now and you want to add to the list later, don't worry about that either. I know a lot of us think that, 8 is a big number. It's actually not. But when you're doing it, just be in a little bit of a feeling state of setting that intention for wanting to forgive, for wanting to let go. Even if it's someone who you've had a fight with for vegetable prices, it's okay. It's fair to add that right now. And then we move on to step 3, which is about decluttering objects and people. So 4 objects and 4 people. Now, what do I mean about decluttering objects and people? Let's start with the objects. So all of us know that we have things in our life that we need to let go of, physical items, that one glass jar that came from a nice place. That one pair of shoes, which you know is always going to give you a shoe bite. But you've kept it, you're hoarding it. So just write that down. That one dress that you absolutely love and it hasn't fit in the last 10 years. So you know you have to let go of it. And till we don't let go of something, we do not make space for something new to come. So you're not getting your next best fitting dress right now because there's one lying in your wardrobe which you're holding on to really tightly. So make space, right? So that's 4 things you're going to write about the physical objects. And then in step 3 itself, in the decluttering piece, we'll go on to decluttering people or energy. So think about when I say people or energies, what I'm talking about is maybe one of the things you really need to declutter from your life is maybe your degree of jealousy or your degree of anger, right? But you might also have a, let's say, a watchman who you know is not being able to serve you to the best of their ability with the work that you're expecting them to do. So, you know, it's okay to write that down as well. And even at work, I mean, if you feel like there's a toxic boss, write that down. Just put it down. We'll come to talking about it later, but for now, just put it down. Because I want us to go through the process of identification with regard to what it is we are letting go of right now, or at least intending to remove from our lives. Everything we want to let go of has a negative charge, right? So when we're sitting with that negative charge and that negative charge is getting triggered each time that person or object comes in front of us, then that causes a abundance block. So just write that down. And if you feel like there are no names coming, just write the title and then we can come, you can revisit the list later. Okay. Now, this is the most interesting part. Step 4 is about your big vision. So when I say your big vision, write about your big vision for the next 1 year. What 8 things would you like to experience by August 8, 2025? Now, this could be a trip that you're wanting to go to. This could be a promotion. It could be a raise. It could be an improvement in health. It could be an improvement in a relationship. But out here, I want you to be, I mean, yes, you can be specific, but again, I'm trying to help you tap into the energetic feeling of your big vision. So if you're wanting to go for a really large trip, it's probably because you're wanting to experience either peace or fun or joy or, me time. So on August 8, 2025, if we meet again and we do the Lionsgate portal, what is the stuff you want to talk about then? So we did a program last year called the Life Visioning and the Vision Board course. And it was really incredible when I see the same people who actually made the effort to put it together and go through that process last year and where they are at today. It's the most humbling and fulfilling feeling in the world because we know deep down in our hearts what we want in a year, but sometimes we're so afraid to put that down on paper that it doesn't serve us well to be afraid to put it down on paper. Okay, so if you want to talk about how you're working right now, but in the next 1 year you want to work for yourself or work independently, feel free to put that down. If you've started with saving up money and you want to reach a number, write about that. If there's a loan you want to pay off, write about it. I know I'm making you think a lot right now, but it's going to serve you well, I promise. And you can also change this list later after the session is over. Don't stress about that. The next thing we're going to do is 8 actions. Okay. So what you need to do now is write out 8 actions you would like to take in the direction of your vision for the next 1 year. So assuming you have written your number that you want to, reach for saving up or removing debt or whatever it is. So if you've written out the 8 things you want to experience in the next 1 year, you can also write about the one step you're going to take in all 8 areas, right? Because in manifestation, you'll hear a lot of people constantly talk about, oh, the universe is just waiting for you to show up and, take charge, and it'll just like allow you to receive, etc., etc., etc. But I'm sorry, where most of us are Indian and we all understand the role of karam, the role of action, right? I mean, so yes, there is a huge role that shifts in consciousness plays. But I beg to differ with everyone who's saying that it's just going to fall at your feet, you know? Um, and there is no better um, documentary or film or series that I've watched than the Arnold Schwarzenegger one on um, Netflix. And again, in the Life Vision and Vision Board course last year, we spoke about that as a case study where he set his mind on something and just made it happen. So we can say that, wow, he's been blessed and all that. But the truth is, he worked harder than anyone else out there to sort of get it and get there and make it happen for himself. So let's not underestimate the role of personal action and the steps we take in the direction of that. And now we're going to come to my favorite piece about abundance. Abundance is incomplete without generosity. So someone who is extremely miserly, even if they have 100 crores or 1,000 crores, or they become a billionaire, or even more than that, they will never be truly abundant unless they are generous. Because abundance is not a feeling of having so much money. Abundance is the feeling of being able to share no matter how much money you have. So you know how we say पुराने जमाने में वो दादी होती थी और उनके पास एक बड़ी रोटी होती थी और वो एक बड़ी रोटी से पूरे खानदान का पेट भरते थे. So we're not joking about that. That was true abundance. And that is the state of abundance. That is the belief in the fact that abundance is an energy that our heart resonates with at such a deep level that we're constantly overflowing. So abundance is not really having lots of money. Abundance is a state of mind. So step 6 is generosity. And what we're going to write about now is 8 acts of generosity that you'd like to do in the next 8 days, 8 weeks, or 8 months, depending on how generous you're wanting to be. I know there's lots of writing going on, but you'll know why this workshopping technique is going to help you more than just the meditation for this particular topic. And I know that a lot of us struggle with generosity. So it's not just you. We all have our own money wounds. We all have our own money stories. We all have, our own trauma, which we associate with being too abundant or having too much money and stuff like that. So it's okay. Like, there's nothing you need to stress about beyond a point. But just know in your heart that unless you're able to be generous, you're not truly abundant. Now, for generosity, it could be something really small, like I'm going to gift my friend this course that they want to enroll in. Or it could be something like you're helping an underprivileged person out with their education. Or it could be something, at least one of the things out of the 8 that you're writing about should be stuff that you feel like you are stretching yourself to do. Okay? Something, the form of generosity that is not coming naturally to you, but you want to do on this list, that's the most important. That's the one that is going to cause the shift to happen. And let me tell you one thing, you'll keep thinking that generosity is about everyone else, but it's also about you being generous to yourself. So, a lot of times, especially as Indian women and mothers, there is this entire consciousness of, no, I'll save up for my children, I'll take care of the house, I'll ensure that, my partner is fine, etc. But when it comes to doing something for yourself, you'll think lots of times. So I don't want you to think that generosity is always only about everyone else. Generosity is also about being able to do it for yourself, because the universe will take note of you being able to keep the balance between the outside world and the inside world as well. So make a list of this. And then we have the affirmation, which is step 7. So I've kept the affirmation really simple, really easy. I welcome all goodness, abundance, and prosperity finding its way to me. See, the goodness, the abundance, and the prosperity are always finding their way to us. It is we who have issues with our worthiness, with our ability to receive, with our belief that we deserve things, right? So I'm just going to let this be on the screen. Then you can repeat this to yourself 8 times. You can write it one time and just in your mind repeat it to yourself 8 times. I welcome all goodness, abundance, and prosperity finding its way to me. And by now, most of you will be supercharged with energy, right? Because we've already done the letting go, we've done the generosity, we've done the vision for the next 1 year, we've done gratitude. So the negative charge around a lot of things is just being completely changed by the time you're doing the affirmation. So you're not doing the affirmation from a low vibration state, which is a problem that a lot of people face when it comes to doing affirmations. And now we come to step 8, which is again one of my peak favorites from this whole exercise, which is about your mindset. So I want you to recall one incident that you can't think has anything good in the fact that that incident has happened. Okay. This will usually be in the case of financial losses. It will be usually in the case of healthcare. It will usually be in the case of damage to your house. It will be in the case of loss of a job. So these are some of the examples where no matter how hard you try, you're probably not being able to see a blessing in disguise, right? I want you to use this time to train your mind. And if there's one big takeaway from today's conversation and today's session, it should be rewiring your brain to look at everything as a blessing in disguise. So, write out 8 ways in which you will find abundance no matter the circumstance. So, think of the circumstances that you would not like to happen at all. Okay, or things that have happened in the past and you know they've happened and you've never been grateful for them and you've hurt and you've, just screamed and cried and felt like life is unfair. This could be a partnership at work that went wrong, a friendship that no longer exists, anything, just bring to mind whatever. And then try and think of how this turned out to be a blessing in disguise for you. So you train your mind to look for the blessings in disguise. Because blessings in disguise will never be apparent, right? That's why they say they're in disguise. If they were apparent, they wouldn't need to be in disguise. So even if you're having a rift with a loved one, think of how that might be a blessing in disguise for you right now. Maybe it's making you question your own beliefs. Maybe it's time for you to reevaluate the things that you are holding on to too much. Who knows? Maybe it's them, and if it's them, then it's about why are you holding on to them so much if they're upsetting you in the different ways they are. So this blessings in disguise piece is something which we absolutely have to make our number one priority. I'm going to give you one more minute for this. And right after this, we're just going to be going through a little meditation. So once you've all put your pens down. And remember one thing, as soon as you've logged off from this particular session, it's okay to revisit the list. It's okay to kind of add to it, subtract from it, look at it again. There's no problem. So feel free to do that if you feel like there's something where you're still feeling stuck. Refine it in your own time. Don't stress about what's been written right now during the session. Okay? Now we're going to do a quick meditation as well. So just get comfortable, and if you like, you can turn off your video. If it's not required, that's fine. Whatever makes you comfortable. Just settle in. Close your eyes very gently. And take in a deep breath. And exhale. And inhale again. And exhale. And inhale again. And exhale. And I want you to imagine that you're going down very gently from quite a wide tunnel. You're walking down and just entering this one little cave, which is beautifully lit with a golden energy coming from the top. And just imagine that it's got a lot of golden objects inside of it too. Right? So it's just you and this cave where there's this golden light coming in from the top. And now you're settling down in the cave and you're just wanting to energetically embrace the golden energy of abundance. Because the money and the coins and the gold and the wealth will come and go. But being in this state of abundance is something that is a choice. It is a choice, and you can choose to be abundant and see abundance everywhere in the form of goodness and blessings in disguise, and see yourself as an eternal soul with infinite time at its disposal. So in this cave, just connect and feel a deep sense of rootedness in the feeling of expansion, in the feeling of abundance. Recognize that the whole universe right now is in a state of alignment for you to be able to experience this unique energetic alignment. This wholeness, this feeling of prosperity overflowing from within your heart out into the world. Your aura is densely populated with this golden light. It's the most incredible feeling of being in a state of abundance. And I want you to allow this memory of this very moment, of this very energetic alignment, to stay with you as a part of your consciousness, where you are feeling full, you are feeling whole, you are feeling connected with the divine grace, which is always in a state of abundance and available to us. Just feel your heart center expanding with joy. Feel the golden light touching every part of you that has resistance to being able to receive and be open to abundance. Just let everything be washed away and everything be transformed and transmuted into this golden grace of the divine. Because the divine is abundant. So feel this feeling of fullness, of grace, of gratitude, of abundance. And allow yourself to remember this feeling so that anytime you're feeling energetically low or miserly, remember that you are a child of the divine and abundance is your birthright because you have the divinity within you. And when you feel ready, just imagine yourself gently getting up from that cave, making your way up through that little tunnel, coming back into where you are currently seated, and gently, as you settle into your physical awareness all over again, you can rub your hands together, put them over your eyes, and slowly and steadily open your eyes. So if you want to quickly take a minute and write down any insights that you may have had, any experiences that you had with regard to the meditation, any messages from the divine that you may have received, any energetic imprints, take a minute to just write that down. Because usually there are flashes of insight that we have when we go through experiences like this. So just take a minute to write about it. And once you're done with that, know that you're currently in a very, very, very powerful state of energy. And when you're in such a supercharged, energetic state, is the best time to send the outflow of that positive energy to other people. So we now come to the next part of today's session, which is about blessings. So write out the names of 8 things or people or projects or spaces or circumstance that you would like to bless and send out good energy to. And truly, when you've written out their names, feel yourself being able to send those experiences and those blessings to them. So it could be an upcoming project, it could be a friend who's suffering, it could be something that's important to you, which is upcoming. Just send out this beautiful energy to them. And at this point, I'm also going to pause my talking for a little while and allow you all to speak.